Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brittany Anderson, and today our presentation that I will be presenting on is Goals and Leadership and Advocacy presentation. So first up is educational and training transition goals. So a goal example that we see typically students who are in their early high school years, where we know that they are going to need extra help in working with life skills, employment opportunities, as well as independent living opportunities. Some of the goals that we see on their IEP meetings are by this time next year, the student will complete 5 work experiences at local establishments. So what this means is they would be working with areas in the community trying to gain those employment skills, but they're learning the education aspect of it and they're getting that hands-on training that they need for it. So some of the resources that we would see in our community, specifically in Coeur d'Alene, the first one is Secondary Transition Education Program. So this is what we call a STEP. So STEP's goal is to provide a variety of resources and activities in order to create a path of learning abilities. Students spend time working in a classroom type environment combined with ongoing into the community. So they are actually, the one for our district is currently housed at the building where we have the developmental preschool at, which is great because we have a student who is in the STEP program who gets those hands-on experience with our kids because he wants to teach one day and be in a classroom. So we are able to give him that opportunity and come in the classrooms. He gets to lead a craft, work with the kids, and he's absolutely phenomenal with that. So he gets that hands-on experience that way where he's learning and getting that training as well. Second up, we have vocational rehabilitation. So this is what they do here is it's on-the-job training. It is an agreement between the IDVR and the employer to hire and train adults within the Idaho Division of Voc Rehab to job seeker. In return for hiring and training in this job field, the employer receives a training reimbursement on paid wages to the trainee. So they are being reimbursed for the time that they are spending doing that training with the adult who's seeking that job. This service helps the employer by reducing the expenses of training a new employee. It also allows the employer to take the necessary time to train an employee in their own processes and procedures. I've seen firsthand our region, we're Region 2 for vocational rehabilitation, works really great with our program for STEP specifically. They come in, they do great skills with the adults to work on these skills of seeking out employment for one day and getting that training that they absolutely need. And third, we have Project Search. So Project Search is dedicated to providing education and training to young adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities through an innovative workforce and career development model. The benefits that the individual, the workplace, and our community is absolutely phenomenal. Their primary goal is to secure competitive employment outcomes for each of our students, which is absolutely amazing. They have done great work. We get, as employees for the district, we receive weekly emails from a new student each week. They talk about what they've done. They send the email out. There's a picture of them doing whatever job they are doing. It is unpaid, but they are gaining the training experiences. So they are working in the job site and then they go into the classroom and work on some of those other training skills as well. Okay, our next area is employment transition goal. So an example goal that we would see a student who is going into, who will be graduating the 18 to 21 program in high school in their IEP. And sometimes this isn't just 1 year goal. This is something that they're going to continuously work on. Is by this time next year, the student will make discoveries about 3 different jobs. So this means that they are stepping outside of their comfort zone of where they are used to and seeing what other new opportunities would entail. So our first one, Project Search, like we talked about in this last slide, most students work at I said our local hospital, in addition to classroom learning on employability and independent living skills, each student will spend 4 hours per day working in an internship. Project Search students gain experiences working in a variety of settings, including equipment, transportation, nutrition services, quality improvement, housekeeping, childcare, laundry, inpatient and outpatient rehabilitation, senior care. They even help with MRI programs, which is absolutely incredible, because if you have a student who wants to do that, who are you going to be to step in their way from getting to where they want to be? And they are determined. Most students are hired on after they complete this program, which is great because they've had the training, they know what they're doing, and they get to continue in this job that they love and they enjoy. The program is part of the school district, and which is great. So they are seeing familiar faces at around 14 years old when they want to start applying, which Project Search is actually very competitive to get into. Not every student gets in, and especially if you have behaviors, unfortunately, it is not a program that would be suitable for somebody who has behaviors in there. The second resource that we were talking about is the STEP program, like we talked about in the previous slide. Students who access STEP have completed their high school program and required additional time to work on key skills such as independence, education, and employment. So they take field trips. The one here takes, I believe it's every Wednesday and Friday. Tuesday and Thursday. They take a bus and they go somewhere new. We had last week a student one of our students from STEP went over to the local coffee stand across the street, and she was helping making drinks. She was taking orders from people in the drive-thru, which was incredible to see, and we went over to support her and order, and it was really cool to see, because that's a really hard job, especially when you have people who are not patient, people who don't know as you start ordering that this is somebody who has a disability. We should treat everyone with an open mind to know that they are capable of doing anything. And our third resource under employment transition goals is the vocational rehabilitation. So here their goal is to place students in Idaho with disabilities into the workforce by securing and maintaining productive employment. This can provide the services that are required to assist you to go to work and can assist you in locating suitable employment. Not everyone is going to hire somebody with a disability. I wish I could say that they would. I wish I would see more places out there, which I think would be really incredible. But unfortunately, that's just not the case. So with that, Idaho Vocational Rehabilitation really helps and gears students toward that big picture that they want to do. Okay, and our last up is independent living and transitional goals. So a goal that we will see here is by this time next year, the student will be working towards a supported living environment, whether that's supported, independent, whether that's a nursing home in some situations, they'll be making steps toward that. So our first one is the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare. So this is a program that is specifically for students between the ages of 14 and 21. In some cases, they do allow 16 to 26. But this allows students with disabilities. Sometimes they're in foster youth. When a parent sometimes finds out that their child has a long-term disability and it's something that is not going to be cured, we do see students who end up in foster care. So with this program, if they are not able to be housed, the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare will help with that process and transitioning. Next up, the STEP program works with students to spend time working in classroom type environments combined with outgoing into community activities, learning tasks, community outings, and focus on functional, academic, interpersonal, independent living. And they exit this program and STEP at age of 21, so their hope is after 21 they will have a secure spot for living, whatever that might be. And our third resource is Idaho Parents Unlimited. This is a great resource specifically for parents. they don't know what the process is. Sometimes they don't know what the transition is. Not everyone is familiar in special education and the resources out there. So this specific program is out there to help with just like explaining what that process is going to look like. Housing options here that they suggest are independent living in a house or an apartment, alone or with a roommate. They do transitional resident programs offering short-term residential experiences for people with who need support, intervention, or instruction while learning to live independently, supporting living programs, as well as supervised living programs, and last but not least, intermediate care facility. There are a lot of resources out there. Unfortunately, it is very difficult to get into some of them, especially if you have behaviors or struggle in those areas with needing to have help with housing, different situations. So yeah, that is the end of my presentation. Here are the resources from where I found all of my sources. If you have any questions, please feel free to pull me aside after this presentation. I have enjoyed researching all of this information, and my hope is to be able to share with not only more staff in this area, but also specifically having people in the community, parents, employees, telling them about the opportunity that they can have somebody with a disability working for them and whatnot. So thank you guys again. I really appreciate your time.